1992. You lost affirmative action. You lost a woman's right to choose. Labor is under siege. You have lost the environment. Public schools are, effectively taken as, playgrounds for the private. You lost campaign finance reform. You lost the Supreme Court. You may lose Obamacare, which itself was a conservative compromise. What did this get? What did you win? Like, what did all of this strategizing and all of this, deep knowledge about, what did you ultimately win? And so when you start looking at it like that, and then you see the same people who have led you to this loss, Bill Clinton being deployed to Michigan, to do what? Liz Cheney, who has, she showed great courage, but has a constituency of 0, apparently. What are we doing here? So you don't have the tactics, you don't have the strategy, you don't have the morals. So what do we have then? It's dark. I mean, it's not like these people take immoral positions and then win. They don't. They don't. And so, when you look at the long stretch of this, Kamala losing almost underestimates the disaster. And it is a disaster, And I just think what I would hate is for this party to not do any sort of internal reckoning and just put out the next version of this. I can't hear in 2028, this is the most important election of our lifetime. Please don't tell me that again. Yeah.
Alrighty then, so let's talk about this real quick. So I don't know what makes the Lucus issue is. He's like a never Trumper, butthurt Republican that's politically homeless, but he tap danced with the Democrats now. He attacks FBA and ADOS like they're dumb and don't know how politics works. But I don't know. Like I said in a video years ago, I think I stopped really messing with his stuff when he was freaking when it came to guns. I'm like, all right, First, I'm like, is he just a California Democrat that's just, he's in California? A California Republican, rather, where, they're cool with gun control and, a bunch of things like that. But, I don't know. He said something in one of his videos 2 years ago that was like, oh, they only gave us Milton Friedman, they only gave us Thomas Sowell, and they only gave us these people. I'm like, no, nigga. I always had questions when I went through my Thomas Sowell phase and all those other Republicans or conservatives or independent thinkers. I had questions. I didn't just eat what they wrote or what they said. I bought their books and I still had questions. I still felt like some things were missing. So I don't know why he felt like it was just given to him and he just took it at face value and didn't challenge any of the shit. That sounds like you're a fucking idiot. Even though he acts arrogant and cocky and like he knows everything, and if he disagree with him, he attacks you. But anyways, he just did a video just now about the Latinos who voted for Trump. And I'm confused that, the Democrats, including him now, I guess that's who he's championing for. They do this, you voted for him now, ha ha ha. First of all, black folks ain't in the position to even make those arguments. You're not in that position to do that. Anyways, but, the people who voted for Trump that are Latinos they knew what they were voting for. Unlike black Americans, legal Latinos understand you can't flood in a bunch of people that are undocumented. Even Bernie Sanders once understood this before he became a retard on the issue, that you can't just flood in a bunch of people while having a bunch of social programs and a bunch of bullshit, getting away with a bunch of money. It don't work. You gotta pick a struggle. You can't have both. You gotta pick one. And as you see between New York, Chicago, paying for hotels, paying for food, paying for education, paying for driver license, all types of stuff that the government was using taxpayer funded money, not using it on their own citizens, right? Over $1 billion was spent in New York City alone to house and feed the migrant situation. But they understand that you can't do that. For whatever reason, black people don't understand that. There's a bunch of black intellectuals, talentless 10th niggas that will argue to the death of, don't go after the illegal immigrants, go after the corporations. But meanwhile, the black unemployment rate for black men is being undermined. They shouldn't be here. Even if you did go after the company, even if you went after the companies and they did the right thing and verify everything, they still would be getting kicked out and they still wouldn't have the opportunity. So but the argument is don't go after those people because they're just here. I'm not mad at any illegal immigrant that's here. I understand why they're here. Every legal immigrant here, they're here to get that capitalist dream, which is ironic. They're here to participate in a system that many on the left don't like and don't want. They want the same system that many of these people are running from, i.e. the Cubans that ran to Florida from Fidel Castro. But anyways, I just don't understand Lucas. He's just mad weird. He did a video too trying to say, the Democratic Party need to make black folks the face of the party and get right with us and all this other nonsense, while ignoring the reason why the FBAs and the ADOS people are like, we want tangibles and we're not voting unless you could do things. He minimized it to, they don't know how Congress works, they don't know how presidents works, and they can't do that. It's funny how white people, when they don't like a candidate at the top of the ticket, they don't vote for him. The second term, Donald Trump lost. Well, technically, he lost only in white men. He went up in every group in 2016, except for white men. But there were a lot of white, they call them the white soccer moms, who didn't like Trump's behavior or whatever, his brashness. They didn't vote for him in like places like Virginia and all those other places in Georgia and all that stuff. But the Republican in that state still won. The governor still won that race. So you could vote down ticket, vote for your governor in your local elections, and not support the president. Like, that's a valid thing that people do. That only time people got a problem with it is on the left, when people voted for Jill Stein, or i.e. when black folks decide to do that because they feel like the Democratic Party hasn't done anything. Like, you had 60 years, Lucas. What do you want? Like, they had a bunch of years of just getting the votes unquestioned, unchallenged. Now there's challenges, now there's questions, and now he calls these people Sambos and act like they're dumb. I don't agree with your American no policies at all, but she did work on the Hill, right? She did work in the system and know what she's talking about when it comes to that. Again, I don't know what she's been on lately, because I stopped listening to her shit years ago, but I'm sure it's still consistent on her message, and she's still preaching tangibles, as all FBA, ADOS type people on YouTube were talking about it. I don't know, but that seems to have an issue. The establishment Democrats don't like it. The talented and bootleg people like Roland Martin like that, they don't like it. And Lucas is in that boat now, because he referenced Roland Martin. He gonna say yesterday in the video that, yeah, Roland Martin should have got $3 million for interview. Why? He got what he paid for. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. That's what he negotiated, and that's what he got. Why do you think he should get more money? Now, he was calling out the white people that the Democratic Party hires. This is not new. Roland Martin has been complaining about this for the last freaking 20 years, that these white posters or people, these white liberal, is this what you want to call it? Lucas wouldn't say that. He just kept saying the white people. He didn't say that they're white liberals that the Democratic Party hires. They're not hiring Republican consulting firms. They're hiring white liberals who pretty much don't think that they need to give black media money. And again, Roland Martin has been complaining about this for the last 20, 30 years. That, I think it was last year, he said that when Hillary was in there, they said, if we want to talk to black people, we'll call Ellen, which is kind of weird. And now think about this too, though. Technically, right, Joe Budden is the hip hop #1 black podcast, whatever. But Joe Rogan has more black listeners daily than Joe Budden. So you would think that a podcast like Joe Budden was like, I'm gonna go him to go reach black people. Just to give you an example. But technically, more black people are listening to Joe Rogan. So when someone says, I don't know the demographics when Ellen was on TV before she got outed for being a mean gay girl. But like, maybe it's true. I don't know. But the people said, if we want to reach black people, we're not going to Roland Martin. We're not going to the Breakfast Club. We're going to go, even though the Breakfast Club does get more looks and hits than all the other so-called black media. But that's the case in point. They were making an argument that, like, no, we're not going here. And this election, Kamala had $1 billion and she spent it and she still lost. Everybody, let's get money out of politics. Hillary Clinton outspent Trump. Little Indian Kamala outspent Trump, and they both lost. So it's like, what are we gonna do with that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can take the money out of politics if people still don't vote for you. It don't matter. It's like when people complain about AIPAC giving money to people to get rid of people. I'm like, at the end of the day, yeah, they got more ads and they got more, commercials and stuff like that. But your people didn't come out and vote for you. Your opponent, generally in the Democratic Party, is somebody that's in your own party, who the establishment wants over you. That's why Jamal Bowman and the other chick is gone. But the other squad members are still here. They won their elections. Their people came out and voted for them. They just vote for you. So I just like, yeah, I think it's dirty that the AIPAC lobby has that influence over our elections and can just pump money that we probably give to them and they just give it back to us. It's a whole cycle, it look like. Just thinking about that out loud. It's unfortunate that they are allowed to do that, and they should be filing as a foreign country and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, if your people don't come out and vote for you, you're not gonna win. But that's just for my video. Lucas just says wild and stupid shit. Like I said, I stopped paying attention to him when he said, I think it was a Chicago shooting that was actually a clean shoot when a 15-year-old boy was running in the dark and I don't know if he had a gun or not, or he did have a gun, but like the cop couldn't see, and it was like a split second he had to make a decision. He shot that cop, but he did make a move, and it was a clean shoot. But like Lucas was like, well, cops should just use their vest. They have vests. They should just like, huh? Like saying dumb shit like that. It's like I can't take you serious. Like with all the owning he thinks he does with the people on disagreement day and all that stuff. Just the fact that that's your mindset. Oh, cops have bulletproof vests. They should just use them and not shoot first. Like, huh? You got a split second to make a decision, and you could, as a cop, and it could potentially mean you going to jail, you losing your life, you getting hurt for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? You being hated by the public and the media, even if it is a clean shoot. Like, but he says, nope, don't shoot, hesitate, and let them shoot you. That's the dumb shit that Lucas is on. And I'm sure he said more things. I just caught that video because I'm like, I seen him referencing Roland Martin. I'm like, why is Lucas referencing Roland Martin? 10 years ago, Lucas would have been calling Roland Martin out for his tap dancing for the Democratic Party. But now, apparently, Lucas is also tap dancing for the Democratic Party. And he's going, think about it, he's going after the same people that the establishment Dems go after. He's going after the same people that they were calling black folks Russia bots and saying black people were too stupid to not decipher the Russian propaganda and all this stuff. He's repeating the same shit in 2020 now. I mean 2025. Like that was 2020 shit. And he repeating it now. I don't know if he late to the party or what, but yeah. What are your thoughts on your boy Lucas and his transition into never a Trumper but hurt Republican, now tap dancer for the Democratic Party? Because that's all he's doing is tap dancing. Because like the fact that you really limit your thinking to say that ADOS and FBA, again, I'm not with either group, but I'm saying as an example, when they're saying they want tangibles and they want things, or we're not going to vote for you, that's exactly what people did in Michigan. They're like, yo, we don't like what we don't like. That was their vote. That was their protest vote. Like, you have an option to do that. That's a valid thing to do. And he's trying to minimize like that's not to do. Like, that's all you have. So next election come around, if the Democrats want to play fast and loose, and Kamala, her dumb ass, is gonna say, "Oh, I wouldn't do anything differently than Joe Biden," she gonna learn. And it's not looking good for Democrats because they keep putting all these polls. Generally, the Republicans are gonna lose, obviously, in the midterms and all that stuff. And Trump is doing some fuck shit right now that he will help them lose. But I'm saying, for the next election, I don't see nobody who they got that's going to be focused and good enough to win. They can't go far leftist. They can't go that ship is sold, because as much as Bernie Sanders has sold out from his own policies, as much as AOC has sold out, it's like I don't see they're selling out for a reason because they understand that their party's not shifting in that way. I don't see the radical far leftist person when I don't see McDonald or whatever his name is that's winning in New York City. Even though he's like, you know, these people be cosplaying like these be rich as foreign or of color people, liberals, acting like they, you know, with the struggle and all that. They married to white people and they live in, well, he lives in actual rent control property, even though he makes a lot of money. But that's whatever. He moved in there when he wasn't making money, but that is what it is. That's the new Republican talking point against him. But I'm just saying, like, these people be fake. You know, AOC was not from the block. She's not Jenny from the block. Neither was J-Lo. But she comes from middle class bring-ins. Parents had good money. But yeah, she's coming here talking about this oligarchy tour and we're mad at the people. Yet, there's real shit going on that your party supports that you just not saying nothing about. Again, I don't care about these things, but the dudes who got captured in Israel on a boat, and Israel detained them for whatever long, it was like a bunch of Americans. AOC and Bernie ain't say shit about that when they was on a oligarch tour, and Israel has the right to defend their bullshit. They be saying that's like so redundant and dumb now. Like I don't think do politicians not understand the more you say something like that, the more you tell people that, the more that's a phrase, it becomes irrelevant. We don't care about Israel has a right to defend itself no more. We don't care about a two-state solution because we know that's bullshit. Neither camp wants a two-state solution. Like, that's just rhetoric and nonsense. We don't care about that. And politicians are going to keep saying it, but it's like, no. It used to be in the past where you just keep pushing stuff down our throats, and we would just accept it and take it. But nah, that shit is done with. This generation is over that. Like, they want to see things actual come to fruition. This narrative of not delivering don't work. But yeah, that's my video. Is that 15 minutes? 13. I'm testing out this new way to do videos. I got a new mic. I went and got a Razer mic. I got rid of the Snowball, and I'm checking out. I'm using this Microsoft Games Capture. Just capture videos real quick because I'm lazy, and it's the best way for me to do it right now. See how this turns out.